Hi friends, welcome to my humble homestead and garden side chat. Today I am going to show you how to make a super easy sourdough starter. So this is going to be a sourdough starter that you don't have to constantly feed it forever, take care of it forever, and it is just going to be super easy, and you can actually store it indefinitely. I will show you in the future how to do that, but today I just want to get it started. What I'm going to use, and the thing is that there's a lot of controversy about breads and wheat and gluten and things like that. And I know with my diet, white flour is, and the white things like white flour, white sugar, those are big triggers for me. Those are things that I personally cannot eat. With sourdough, there tends to be a lot of people that can tolerate it. And I'm really big on gut health. One thing is that, God did make wheat. He made it in the natural form, but today's wheat is definitely not what God made. It's been high brand. There's like spelt flour is definitely better, or acorn flour. That's definitely more in the whole form. I tend to grind my own wheat berries. If I still don't even eat a lot of bread, but I wanted to try to make some sourdough and see how I tolerated that, because I know a lot of people that are gluten intolerant are able to have sourdough. So I wanted to try, and some people I know make even like waffles and pancakes and muffins and all kinds of things out of sourdough. So I wanted to just try to have some sourdough on hand. And then I know you can dehydrate it and just rehydrate it and have it anytime, or have it in the fridge, the kind that I'm making. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you down here and we are going to get this started. So what I'm going to use is my yogurt. This is my homemade yogurt. So you can use either, you want to have yogurt that has live cultures, or you can have buttermilk that has live cultures. Now, y'all know I make my own yogurt. It's super easy. I get raw dairy. I can leave a link on how I make it in my Instant Pot. The easiest. But if you buy it in the store, what you want to do is you want to make sure it has the good active live cultures on it, preferably even organic. So I'm not even going to measure here. All right. So I'm just going to scoop some yogurt, and mine is really thick. The yogurt that I make is like super thick because I strain it, and I make mine with either leftover yogurt that I have, or I've been using the whey, and that has been working out really good. So I'm just going to put like 3, depends on how big your jar is, but I'm just going to put like about that much in there. And you're going to use half and half of the amount. I'm going to actually use 4 scoops. So half of the amount of yogurt. And then if you use buttermilk, it's the consistency. But because mine is a thick yogurt, I'm actually going to use some of my whey, because I always have whey because I make yogurt all the time. But if you don't have whey, and you're using yogurt, you can just use some distilled or non-chlorinated water. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in here, and I'm going to mix it up. And we want it to the consistency of like cream, like a milky, heavy cream, and just stirring it up here. Now, what I'm going to do, yeast likes to feed on different things like we do. So I'm going to use a little bit of my organic rye flour, and I'm going to use a little bit of my flour So I'm just going to put a little bit of that in there and stir that up. And the consistency that we're going for is like a thicker pancake batter. And I'm just going to put some of this organic rye flour in here too. Now, one thing too is if you want to use like some spelt flour or some acorn flour, those are awesome. Whatever kind of flour you want to use. Because I have the whey, I'm not going to add. If you don't have like super active cultures, you can add a little bit of caraway seeds in there. That makes it go really quick too. But so let's see here. This is kind of the consistency right here that we're going to want. All right. So not too thick, not too runny. Then I'm just going to put a loose lid on there and I'm just going to let it sit. And every day I'm going to check it and we'll check it together and watch it kind of form and bubble. And this is it. This is how I'm going to do my sourdough starter. This is it. So we'll check it every day. We'll look at it. And then when we make some sourdough bread, we'll do that together. And then I will show you how we store it. Because this, we really just need like a cup when we make a sourdough bread. So I will use half of this to make some bread and then the other half will store it together. All right, see ya in a bit. Or we'll look at it every day and then when we're ready to make some bread, we will do that together. All right. Happy sourdough making. I'm super excited about this. So this is day 3 of my sourdough. You see it has some bubbles in there. You can see them, oh yeah, you can see them bursting when I just kind of mix it around there. Look at those bubbles. That is nice and active. And this is day 3, no feeding it, nothing. So on day 1, there was just a little bit of sludge on the top. It was just a little liquid and I just mixed it in there. It's okay if you get a lot of sludge on top. If you have a lot, you could add a little bit more flour in there, but I just had a tiny bit, I mixed it in. It is nice and active. So what I'm waiting for it to do is to increase in amount. So that's why I'm going to give it, it smells like nice sourdough. But it's super active, it's great. 3 days, I'm going to give it 5 to 7 days, and we're going to let this increase in amount. And then I'm going to take out what I need to make some sourdough bread. And then I will reserve the rest for whatever I want to use. So day 3, I'll come back in a couple days and we'll check it out. So let's take a look at day 4 at our sourdough starter here. I'm mixing it up. It had just a little bit of sludge on the top, which meant just a little bit of watery. Not a lot, not enough that I'm going to add anything in there. So I'm just going to mix it in there. You can see there are some bubbles in there. I'm going to kind of mix it up really good. This is about day 4. I'm going to give it to day 5 to day 7. I think I'm going to check it tomorrow. If I don't see a lot of bubbles, I may put just a tiny bit. Oh, there's some bubbles there. You see it's still active. So I think it'll be good. It's live. Oh yeah, I see bubbles in there, so we know it's live. If it's not super active, I may put just a tiny bit more of flour in there to get it a little more active. But I know it's active, and they say about day 7 it should be ready. So we'll check it in a couple days. Okay, hi there. So I am at about day 5 of this. And it smells definitely sourdoughy. It's got some bubbles, nice bubbles in there. Some nice bubbles in there. So what I'm going to do is I decided I wanted to try to make a loaf of sourdough bread in my bread machine and see how it turns out. So I saw some different recipes online there, and I have some gluten-free flour here. I don't have any regular flour. I do have flour that I could grind up, but it is late at night. It is after work. And so I wanted to kind of get a loaf going and see how it would turn out for the morning. So I found this recipe that has some gluten-free flour. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to adapt it a little bit because it says use cornstarch. I'm going to use arrowroot is what I have. And so let's just go with it. So we're going to use a cup of this starter. So we're going to use about a cup of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and feed that some more in case I decide I want to make any more. And then I will show you later. Basically how I would store that is I would put enough flour in there to dry it out. I would want to dry it. And you really only need even 2 tablespoons of it. You don't need a lot. And then I would cover it with flour and cover a lid in it and keep it in the fridge. And then it would be good like up to 2 months like that. And then whenever I wanted to use that, I would just reactivate that. So whenever I want to store it in the fridge, I will show you that. But right now, I think I'm just going to re-add some more whey and some more flour into it and keep it going for now. Because depending on how this turns out, I may want to try one in the oven as well. So I got a cup of that. 1¼ cups of warm water. So I did heat that water. Oh, 2 tablespoons olive oil. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Does look like we're putting the liquid ingredients in here first. 2 cups of gluten-free flour. So I'm going to do 2 cups of this gluten-free flour that I did get at Costco. 1. 2. And then it says 1/4 cup of tapioca flour and 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Now I'm going to use the arrowroot, and I am going to use my rye flour for the other 1/4 cup. Actually, I want to add some more flour to my jar here to feed it, and I'm going to add some more whey. And I have another pot of yogurt going because I got my dairy today, so I definitely never have any lack of whey here. So it's kind of fun that I'm finding all these things. And I do have to tell you, I should show you too in this video, because I said I would in an upcoming video. I tried the cucumber kimchi. Oh my goodness, you guys, it is so good. And I gave some to my friend Christina, who I get my dairy from. She made this fabulous. She had on a tortilla, she had some hamburger mixture, and then she put it over it. It looked amazing. That's one thing I have to remember before I go to bed. I'm going to take out some ground, you know, all that ground burger I ground up in my Nesco. I'm going to take some of that out, and I am going to put some of that over it. I'm like, what a great idea. Let me show you this. This is the kimchi. We're getting a little sidetracked here, but it's so good. It has a nice little kick to it. You remember when you make stuff like this, you can make it however you like, but look at that. It's so good. I'm going to take a bite. And I can taste some ginger in it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't normally eat this late at night, but I really didn't eat today. I'm actually having a nightcap of a glass of chocolate milk kind of for my dinner, so having a bite of that. Nice and spicy. So I'm going to do, oh, it says 1/2 cup tapioca flour, 1/2 cup cornstarch, 1/4 cup potato starch, and honey. So I'm going to do 1/2 cup of this. I do have cassava flour. I'm going to do a little bit more of this. And then I'm going to do the arrowroot. Okay. It says potato starch. Let me see what else I could look at my options. We got coconut flour. I don't want sugar. This is oat flour. Let's try a little bit of, oh, it's way back here. And here's some more cassava. I think I'm going to do a little cassava flour in there. You know, needed a little more dry ingredients. This is such an experiment. Cassava flour has that. It's kind of the potato-y is what I'm saying. The potato-y texture. Woo! Man, I'm making flour all over. All right, now we need to do a tablespoon of honey. And I'm going to use, this is cinnamon honey. I don't know how it'll be in the, oh, this is kind of really cinnamony. Let me go get some regular honey. The cinnamon honey I use in my tea, but you know what? This is lemon honey. Has just a little hint of lemon in it. That I think would be really good in this. So we will do lemon honey in there. A tablespoon. Salt, and it does say 1½ teaspoons of dry yeast. So I did take some of that out too. I need some salt. And then 1.5 teaspoons of my yeast that I keep in the freezer. And then I am going to mix this up. Did I even put rye flour in there? I don't remember. I think I did. This is how I am after work, you guys. I'm so ready for bed, but I want to see how this turns out. So I'm just going to do kind of a little mixture here. I found that when I mix it up a little bit before I start the bread machine, I don't get that, you know, around the edges, all that white floury. I just mix it to kind of just get a little shaggy dough. The bread machine does most of the work. It smells really good though. Yummy, yummy. So I did see there were a couple recipes with sourdough that you don't need any yeast, and I'm going to do some more research. I just wanted to find a super quick one to throw in here to see how it works. So we will see in the morning how this turns out. All right, and I'm going to put this in. There's like a fermentation bread setting on here. I'm going to see if I can find that. I will let you know how this turns out for tomorrow. Okay, so menu. Natural sourdough is 3. So I want to go to 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do that on the sourdough setting. Here we go. And I will let you know how it turns out. So for this rest of this right here, I'm just going to add some more fermentation starter, about 1/4 cup here. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more of my non-chlorinated water here. There we go. And then let's mix this up. Remember, we want it kind of thicker than a pancake batter. A little more whey in there. This is not really long enough, and it's metal. I'm not going to use that. What am I thinking? I'm not thinking at night. So here we go, like this. That's about right. So I am just going to cover this, and I will let this sit overnight. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I'll show you how this looks tomorrow. See you later. Bye.